everybody. I want to welcome you to our presentation today. This is just for Bunifu's leaders. And of course, we're going to have 4 presentations in one, but I am going to break it up into small chunks. So it is digestible. So I would suggest as I go through each presentation or as you look at each of the presentations that you just look at one, take some time, take a break, look at another one, take a break, or you can decide to watch all of them at one time. I am going to move fairly quickly through the presentations, but of course you can always this is on demand, so you can always stop, go back, rewind, fast forward, and so forth to make sure that you get the information. So of course, I created a wonderful PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to go ahead and share that now. So you should be able to see right now the agenda for the entire presentation. So what we're going to talk about first, I'm going to, of course, I just did my little welcome to the beginning of the first presentation. But before we dive into each of the content that I want to cover, I do want to set the stage. So I think it's really important because I am now basically separating this group, you as leaders, from the rest of the organization, because I need some thought leaders other than myself and Maurice to really think through how we can continue to build the business, but not only build, but just make sure that we have a strong foundation, that we stay relevant, and that we're innovative, and that we stay on the mission of making sure that we are supporting underrepresented groups or underrepresented groups or people of color, and making sure that we have our values integrated through every piece of Bunifu, through the culture, through all the programs and services that we provide as we are growing and as we are making sure that we continue to have that strong foundation. So the stage setting, I'm going to start with Bunifu's needs leaders that have eagle mentality. Now, yeah, it's an eagle. When I talk about an eagle, I'm talking about a bird. So when I think about leadership, I always I think of a bird because when I think about an eagle, not just any bird, but really an eagle, because they're very majestic. I don't know if you've ever traveled across the United States, and when you see different birds, but when you see an eagle, you're like, that's an eagle. Just the way that it looks, the presence of the bird, the stature of the bird is definitely something that is very powerful and majestic. And so I need leaders that are going to be passionate about what they do, but also leaders that have what I like to call the eagle mentality. And then after I talk about the eagle mentality, I want to definitely, as you can see, the strategic plan here. This is all about delivering what we have planned for the next 3 years and all the work we need to do it to accomplish it. So we're really focusing these presentations that I'm going to present, the 3 that you see on the 4th bullet, is all about how we're going to enhance internal efficiencies within the organization. So how are we going to look at what we're doing inside, not necessarily with our clients, but what are we going to do to enhance the internal processes, procedures, policies, and the culture in the way that we work at Bunifu, and that's really strategic priority number 2 that we're going to focus on. We are going to focus on a segment of efficiencies for internal efficiencies. We're going to look at Bunifu's sales pipeline, contracting process, and project charter. So that's going to be the first presentation that I'm going to talk about. The second is reducing project costs and working best with your team. And then the last one, we're going to use Monday, and that's monday.com, and get your team to use it and the importance of it. And I'm going to show and highlight some things, some pieces popping up on my presentation, but some pieces getting your team to use it, because it's all about efficiency and automating, because we want to stay a small team, but a tight team across the organization. Then of course, Tisha is going to send out that wonderful post evaluation at the end of the mix and mingle that we'll have on June the 11th. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. And I really wanted to read a description about the eagle that I found, just in general, so we can really set the stage for this leadership presentation and why you're here. So an eagle is a large bird of prey with a distinct hooked beak and sharp talons. It is known for its keen eyesight, powerful wings, and the ability to soar through the skies with ease. Eagles come in various species and can be found in many parts of the world, often associated with mountainous and coastal regions. They are known to symbolize strength, freedom, and power in many cultures and societies. And I'm associating the eagle's characteristics to leadership, because when you look at eagles, they say that they are strong, powerful, and have excellent vision. And we need visionaries here at Bunifu, which also allows them to see things from a distance and plan accordingly. They are also known for their ability to soar above obstacles. We have hit obstacles, we have overcome with some of you within projects and so forth, but I need leaders that are going to be able to deal with conflict, be able to deal with challenges and not crumble and fall. And so also eagles demonstrating an ability to rise above challenges. The eagle is majestic and has grace in flight. So even despite the challenges, they're able to maintain themselves and still be able to have a level of grace. And they symbolize, and it says here, leadership and inspire feelings of inspiration and respect. And so I just want to start out this first segment of stage setting is Bunifu needs leaders that have the eagle mentality. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the eagle. But before I do that, some of you are probably like, why did she and Maurice choose us to be leaders of Bunifu at Bunifu? And some of you don't even know, hey, this is the first time we've connected in many ways as a cross-collaborative leadership team. But first of all, I want to tell you why I decided and we decided, hey, this is where, you know, these are the leadership qualities that we've seen in each one of you, and why me. So you were selected because of your expertise and experiences. I have worked with many of you over the years, and some of you for a very short time, but I see something that we can work together and we need at Bunifu to make us move forward in our strategic plan. You represent the best of what we think exists among Bunifu's strategic partners. You have shown passion, commitment, and the desire to continue to work with us despite the obstacles, despite the lag in work, that you still want to be engaged. Your position at Bunifu is a strong and powerful pulpit from which systemic change can be orchestrated. And I'm going to talk a little bit about systemic change. We need system change at Bunifu. We don't need one-off projects, one thing working here. We need a system of things that are working, and they need to be connected in some way. And I'm hoping that you all as a leadership team can help make that happen. You are our best chance of getting this work right. I already know that I can't do it because I have made many mistakes, but I am so passionate and committed to it that I'm going to stick to it. But also, I realize that I have trusted confidants that can help me and Maurice through making this strategic plan over the 3 years really happen. Also, I feel like you're going to do the work right, and you're going to make sure that is responsive to the field. So what we're going to do, and the content that I'm going to deliver is about, supporting the efficiencies internally. We first got to clean house and make sure that what we're doing inside the organization, and it will permeate throughout the outside of the organization. And you're going to help us do that. I also feel that you have a deep caring about what happens at Bunifu and our future. And so that's why you're here and you've been invited to be a leader at Bunifu. As you can see in the red at the bottom here, do systemic thinking and working. So leaders, like I said before in the bullet number 3 here, doing systemic thinking and working. So this is what I need. I don't need non-systemic thinkers. That means that you perceive your perception of something, you perceive what is reality, and you stay in the status quo. I need someone to push and move and shake and do something different, come up with innovative ideas, and really see not the perceived reality, but actually are looking at data to see concrete reality, and looking at what you're doing as your work, or the people that you may be leading at their work, to see that the reality is it the status quo, or are we pushing to the next level? Now, like I said before, in the second piece here, systemic. What I need is people to work systemically and thinking and working. That means I need you questioning and being open for change. You should be questioning even what I'm telling you what to do. Oh, and this could be something different, or your colleagues, and being open for other people to question you as well as you question them. And this is not about you individually, but this is about making sure that we can meet our goals together for Bunifu. Making sure everything you're doing is data-driven reality, that it's not perceived. Well, I think they're doing this, and I think it's taking this much time, and I think it's going this way. But if you don't have any data or any qualitative or quantitative information about it, you're not getting feedback from your team, or you're not getting feedback by the individual work that you're doing, then it's not a reality and it's not systemic. Change for diverse set of learners. So we want to make sure that we're setting some change for underrepresented groups, that we're making sure that we are providing quality training and development. And how do we integrate that in all training development? How are we inclusive? How are we making sure that we are showing empowerment toward diversity and showing representation? Now, going back to the eagle mentality, characteristics of an eagle. I'm just going to read these. And I want you to think, do I possess these qualities? Do I work this way at Bunifu, or the work within the projects? How could I do better? So the characteristics of an eagle: vision. They're visionaries. They're planning and looking ahead. They have keen sight on what's next in the future. Strength, mastery. They're masters of their talents, and they represent mastery. Integrity. They're honest. They're truthful and authentic. Agility. They're able to change when, hey, something's not going right, but they're able to be open to change and be agile. They're confident in how they come across. They're persistent, courageous. They're bold. They're graceful. They have a sense of pride in their work and what they do. That means it's of excellence. They have ferocity and fearlessness, and they're daring. So these are just some of the characteristics of the eagle, and we want at Bunifu, we need leaders that have the eagle mentality and these characteristics. So think about, hey, do I have these? Do I represent these? Knowing that you may be part-time, you may be working 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, or 20 hours a week, or 40 hours a week for Bunifu. But how are these pieces showing in what you do? Eagles are also focused. Now, these are just not only characteristics, but these are some of the things that they do just in general. They have a great sense of purpose. Everything that we do should be laid and layered in the purpose and mission of Bunifu, of making sure that we are providing whatever training and development that we're doing, that we're being inclusive, that we're always making sure that it's diverse, that we're taking anti-racist points of view throughout the learning and images and the scripting and storyboarding or whatever, if we're doing licensing and we're doing whatever, but what is the purpose and being grounded in that purpose? Possesses singleness of mind and purpose. Sometimes I have a one-track mind. This is what I want to do. And I know many of you have worked with me with sometimes I'm like, okay, what's the agenda? What we have to do? Sometimes it takes that to move forward. Allow nothing to distract them, are not overwhelmed by intensity of a task. Never looks to past failure. So if we fail, move on. I've failed many times and let it go. Even as your colleagues, give grace. That's what the eagle does, and move forward. Okay, what's the solution? What do we need to do to move forward? Can turn an image into reality. So can turn something that is not a reality into a reality. And that's what we do to, I think I'm most proud of is how did I create Bunifu and now it's a reality? How are you creating segments of Bunifu and making it reality? Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. How are you doing that? How are you translating vision into reality for Bunifu? So I just want to end that. That's the stage setting for the next 3 presentations that we will be going through. Those will be much more content heavy, but I do want to reiterate, you all have been chosen specifically because of what you possess, because we need to continue to grow Bunifu, but we also want to make sure that we have a very strong foundation, and we need thinkers. We need systemic thinkers, purposeful thinkers. The mentality, we need leaders that have the mentality of an eagle.